You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we'll have how one community is gathering around employees of the Tyson plant that's getting ready to close its doors.
Also, authorities confirmed that one girl who was struck by lightning while swimming has died.
And we do have an alert day today with heat advisories and heat index values potentially up to 110 degrees. We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 a.m. now on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. We have made it on what I feel like has been one of the longest weeks we've had here lately.
It's not that bad, Chris.
It's not been terrible. It's just been a long week, it seems.
Yes, we deserve this Friday.
We are ready for this Friday. Unfortunately, this Friday is bringing heat, and then we've got storms as well.
That is unfortunate.
But some good news is there's a community that's rallying around some of its members down in McDonald County.
Yes, that's true. Local and regional businesses are trying to find ways to support the McDonald County residents who will lose their jobs in October when the Noel Tyson plant closes. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the latest.
Owner of a coffee shop located only 5 minutes from the Tyson plant, Tony Savage will be directly impacted by the closure of the plant in October, not only because of his coffee business, but also because he teaches English in the plant. When October comes around, Tony will lose part of his income and see his students who don't have English as their first language struggling.
They're really strong and really resilient in that element. I think some of the difficulties that can come with that are just the English barrier, filling out job applications and doing resumes and calling employers. Even just finding a job using the internet can be something that's a little bit difficult for people who may not have as many English skills or computer skills or different stuff like that.
Knowing that, Tony decided to act. The Common Cup, his coffee shop, will offer resume and job application help on Saturdays. They will have computers and translators available for those who need them.
There's a lot of people that are kind of at a point where they don't necessarily know what's going to be happening next in their lives. They don't know what steps they can take. And so, it kind of stinks to see it all happening.
Tyson Foods announced plans to close its plant in Noel on Monday. The announcement was made in the company's third quarter 2023 results report.
Tyson also reported quarterly sales declined 3% compared to the same period last year. The company says they lost $417 million.
In Noel, about 1,500 workers will be laid off. But Common Cup is not alone in supporting Tyson's employees. Access Family Care's application counselors will help those affected transition to marketplace insurance or Medicaid if needed.
And it's going to have a detrimental impact on the area, so we're trying to provide support there, and we're also trying to let people know that there's hope for other things coming in. There's people out there working to get their businesses in.
Access Family Care will also provide an income-based discount program to make access to medical, dental, and behavioral health services affordable.
This is very personal to us because the children of these employees are our patients, and we see them, weekly. But we're going to use those medical and dental units to serve the people in the community as we move forward and let them know that we're there. They're not alone, and we're going to help them any way we can.
In Noel, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The Common Cup workshop will start this Saturday at 7 a.m. in Noel's Main Street. Spanish and Somali translator will be available to help Tyson employees fill out job applications and work on their resumes. You can find out more information at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Certainly, it's great to see the community, the community stepping up to help those employees down there. So, something else you got to make sure you're taking care of is yourself in the heat, as we've got heat advisories today. That's why we do have an alert day today. We've got heat advisories for the majority of the area, and then we also have excessive heat warnings for Washington, Newada, and Craig counties in northeast Oklahoma, all of those running until 8 o'clock, and that is because we are looking at heat index values in the heat advisory areas up to 110 degrees, and in the excessive heat warning areas, those could go as high as 115, so we would just want to remind you, make sure you're staying hydrated, taking frequent breaks, limiting strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light color colored clothing, and make sure you check on the elderly and don't leave your pets outside too long. We also have possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms through the evening and overnight hours. Right now, we have a very low tornado risk. You can see there are no areas highlighted. However, we do have a low to elevated hail risk and a low to elevated wind risk for some large hail damaging wind gusts, mainly north of I-44. We could see a couple of pop-up storms well north of I-44. We're talking around the Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton area as we head into the evening, and those could be strong with some small hail and gusty winds, but the biggest threat for more organized thunderstorm activity is going to come as we head into tomorrow morning. When we see this batch of showers and thunderstorms, we could see those strong to severe thunderstorms heading through Saturday morning. Those will clear out. We're hot again on Saturday and more storm chances Saturday night into Sunday. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes.
A late-night attempted traffic stop turns into a pursuit in Aurora, Missouri. Police there tried a traffic stop near Baldwin Park, but the driver failed to pull over. Officers chased the vehicles down several streets. Lawrence County Sheriff's Office joined the chase, and authorities were able to safely stop the vehicle. Authorities arrested the driver, Justin Brown of Aurora, on suspicion of multiple charges, including driving while intoxicated. Brown, an absconder from the Missouri Department of Corrections, also had warrants for his arrest to be returned to their custody. Authorities responded to reports of a stabbing incident in Galena. Authorities say this woman, Miranda Porter, is being held for aggravated battery and interference with a law enforcement officer. It happened this morning around 10:30. Galena police were notified of a male subject with a stab wound in the area of 23rd and Main Street. Then they arrived, they located a male with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was taken by EMS to a local hospital. Police found Potter in the home where the stabbing apparently occurred. And a Granby, Missouri man is dead from an early morning crash. At about 3 yesterday morning, a vehicle crossed the railroad tracks on Wallaby Road, 3 miles west of Pierce City. The driver lost control and the vehicle traveled off the right side of the road and down an embankment where it overturned. All 4 of the passengers suffered serious injuries. The driver, 21-year-old Trenton Wilson of Granby, died at the scene. And authorities confirm one of the 4 girls injured in a lightning strike at an Oklahoma swimming spot has died. The girls were swimming at Blue Hole Park in Mays County Saturday when lightning struck. The Grand River Dam Authority says 1 girl has now died of her injuries. 3 other girls have been released from the hospital. Authorities have not given names or ages. Coming up next, we'll have how many 911 call centers have yet to adapt to cell phones.
And later, we'll learn about some unordinary Barbies that are being handed out to migrant children. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Be right back. But first, here's another live look from Arma in honor of the city's homecoming festivities.
In Health Watch this morning, a report says a call for help made on modern cell phone technology still has trouble in some 911 call centers. A Wall Street Journal report says some 911 call centers are still having a hard time finding cell phone callers or even receiving calls or text messages. The report says these 911 call centers still rely on old technology known as legacy systems. The legacy systems were put in place when payphones and landlines were used more common. And the report says this has led to operators facing a slew of problems, such as misrouted calls, which could lead to response delays. The National Emergency Number Association estimates 27 million calls on legacy systems are misrouted per year. And a new study says sunbathing could harm your skin's microbiome temporarily. The data published in the journal Frontiers in Aging finds that tanning in the sun could disrupt the skin's bacterial makeup. This can also lead to harm on a person's health. Researchers looked at 21 vacationers who took trips to sunny locations for at least 7 days. Out of those who got a tan from the sun, there was a reduction in a specific bacteria. The reduction is associated with developing eczema and psoriasis. The study points out that microbiome does recover within a month after a person goes back to an environment with less sun. And the possibilities of what you can do in the metaverse seem endless. But with more people taking part in digital fitness classes, one company hopes its new armbands can help you maximize your online workouts by triggering your muscles to feel like they're lifting real weights. Kevin Uriski takes a closer look.
In the online world of the metaverse, practically anything is possible, including virtual reality workouts.
First exercise, we are going to go into punching combos.
But now, UK-based Valkyrie Industries hopes its armbands will enhance digital fitness by using electromuscle stimulation to make you feel like you're actually lifting the virtual weights and other equipment used during your online workout routine.
We use electromuscular stimulation, EMS for short, which fundamentally interacts with your muscles to create that same electrical impulse that your brain perceives when you're holding a cup, a mug, a water bottle, or a dumbbell.
The gadgets send electro pulses to the user's bicep and tricep muscles, with the intensity of the pulses changing depending on how fast and how much force a person uses as they hit virtual punching bags, pull digital resistance bands, and lift online dumbbells and more.
The feeling you get out of these is resistance, load, fatigue, and weight up to a certain level, but it's designed more for strengthening.
Officials at Valkyrie Industries say they're not out to replace traditional gyms. Instead,
we're tailoring this to the new and current generation of humans who are fixated on screens. What we've developed is meant to be as an add-on to you exercising practically anywhere in the world. You don't need to have any heavy weights hanging around. And if you really wanted to then take it to the next level, well, the physical gyms are there.
In the future, the company is looking to develop similar technology for other muscle groups besides the arms. Now let's take it over to Chris for weather.
Yeah, we've got ourselves an alert day today. We've got heat advisories out there, dangerous heat returning to the 4 states. We've also got the possibility of some strong, maybe severe thunderstorms out there. We'll take another look at your forecast coming up. Also, a mother taking a cross-country trip to create forever memories with her dying daughter. We'll be right back after this, but first we got another live look from Arma in honor of the town's upcoming homecoming festivities. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:16 coming up on 7:17 on this finally Friday. We do have heat advisories across most of the area and some excessive heat warnings in Washington, Newada, and Craig counties in northeast Oklahoma. Heat advisory areas, we're looking at heat index values to 110 and in the excessive heat warnings up to 115. So we got to remind you to stay hydrated, take those frequent breaks, limit your strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, and make sure you're checking on the elderly and pets. In addition to the heat, we also have the threat for some strong to severe thunderstorms later this evening, overnight tonight. We have very low tornado risk. We don't have any areas specifically highlighted right now, but we do have a low to elevated hail risk and a low to elevated wind risk along and north of Interstate 44 for some large hail and the potential for damaging wind gusts. Now, as we head into this evening, we could see a stray pop-up storm or two, mainly around, say, maybe between Chanute, Fort Scott, Nevada, and Stockton. If we see one or two, they won't be long-lived because they're just those little pop-up pulse storms. But those could be strong with maybe some small hail and gusty winds. It's overnight that we see an actual complex of thunderstorms roll through the area, and these could be strong to severe with gusty winds and large hail across the region, and those will push on through as we go through early tomorrow morning, and then we'll have a few lingering showers through the morning, and by the afternoon we clear out and we heat up and get back into the mid to maybe even upper 90s across the area. Then as we head overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning, we get another batch of showers and thunderstorms, and these could potentially be strong to severe, once again with damaging winds and large hail being the primary risk. Now the main batch moves out of here and leaves us with some stray showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms, and then by the afternoon we clear out again and go low to mid 90s, and then as we head overnight Sunday into Monday, another round of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms may develop, and that's why we do have an elevated risk for us as well on Sunday for the majority of the area. So a lot to keep an eye on over the next few days. As of right now, This nice, pleasant start out there, very deceptive as to how hot it's going to get later. We're at 73 in Joplin, but this is what we're talking about. See, Dew Point is up there at 71, humidity 93%. We're at 68, Iola, 70 in Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, 71, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Nevada, and 74 down in Miami and Neosho. So we get our morning started. That sunshine will heat us up quickly. We're going to go into the mid-80s by late morning, and we'll stay mostly clear for the majority of the afternoon and go to mid to upper 90s. And then by mid-afternoon, we'll start to see a few increasing clouds and then that possibility of a stray pop-up storm or shower up to the north. And then overnight, low 70s and those thunderstorm chances increase. Then we'll have mid to upper 90s tomorrow. The thunderstorm chances again Sunday, mid 90s. Cooler Monday and Tuesday, mid 80s, right around 90. And then as we head into the second half of next week, we've got ourselves returning heat with temperatures going back into the upper 90s to near 100 by the middle of next week. Well, before there was the blockbuster Barbie movie, there was a seamstress named Barbara giving away the dolls. But as Stephanie Bertini shows us, these are no ordinary Barbies. They're refurbished with love and handed out to migrant children.
This retired fashion designer is an expert at sewing. These days, Barbara Lakin is using her studio space, her skills, and her time.
I'll measure for that part.
To dress Barbie dolls like these, all of it charity work for an organization called Team TLC NYC. The dolls specifically given to children with families seeking asylum in the United States at the organization's Little Shop of Kindness. She initially started volunteering with the organization about a year ago as the surge of immigrants seeking asylum started to pour into New York City.
And that's when they were coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd have to go there at 5:30 to Port Authority.
Her humanitarian efforts started merging with her expertise when someone donated a doll without any clothes, and she took it home to make it an outfit. The newly dressed toy she eventually handed to a child from Venezuela.
What was the feeling that you felt when you gave that little girl the dress doll?
Just made me feel really good.
Her work started to multiply as the surge of asylum seekers continues in New York City. More and more doll donations are coming in, mostly Barbies, she says, but that is a coincidence. It has nothing to do with the current Barbie trend.
The fact that Barbie is trending is just serendipitous as far as I'm concerned. But my biggest concern is that we try and get Barbies that reflect the racial diversity of the immigrants.
Some of the dolls need a little help. She cleans them up if required, washes their hair when needed, and dressing them continues to evolve, she says. See the pile of men's shirts? Now she gives little girls and their dads a bonding experience with a Barbie and dress shirt package.
I cut the sleeves off, so now it's a short sleeve shirt.
Perfect for summer.
Yeah, and then with the fabric that's left over, I made a scrunchie for the little girl's hair. And then I made the dress.
She finds it all very fulfilling, a way to merge her passion and her humanitarian work as New York City continues to house asylum seekers in unprecedented numbers.
Certainly an impressive undertaking by Barbara, and that's an awesome project that she's working on. Well, coming up, how the Homeless Coalition of Jasper and Newton counties is helping to try and tackle the homelessness problem here in the area. A mother and daughter have traveled close to 2,000 miles so far together on an adventure across the country.
Their journey is one of a create forever memories and also share an important story. Forrest Sanders reports from Nashville.
And we can sit on the park bench and we can think to ourselves, hey, isn't this easy?
For a couple of true die-hard Taylor Swift fans,
Taylor Swift bench, we made it. High five.
Like mom, London Tabor, and daughter Autumn, Centennial Park is a must.
Oh, there we go. Ready?
It's a prime selfie spot with the bench dedicated to the singer. It's also just a place to stop and take in the beauty all around.
You know what I'm thinking? Hey, isn't this easy?
These little moments feel more special by the day.
Is it good? Yeah. Autumn was diagnosed with juvenile Huntington's disease in 2018. Her dad was in late stages of the disease at the time. In fact, her father passed away just 6 months after she was diagnosed.
Huntington's disease is neurodegenerative. Autumn's illness is terminal.
I see the time slipping away so fast in front of me, and I have to be strong for her. If I'm not strong, then, you know, that's not good for anybody.
London is making the time count.
That actually our plans might change up here. We're not actually sure yet.
After raising donations, London and Autumn are taking one epic road trip. They left their home in Wyoming and are circling all the way through America. They want the quiet places, the noisy places, and they're sharing it all through their London and Autumn TikTok page.
Do we share a spirit of adventure, Autumn? Yes, we do. They think we're gonna feed them. I feel bad I didn't bring them some food.
In these days on the road, they found something.
Ranger, Autumn. Hi, Ranger.
Everywhere, there are kind people, and everywhere has its own beauty.
One thing that I've seen people comment, I wish I would have done that with my loved one before they passed away from the disease. And that is the one thing that I need to make sure that I never, ever, ever say is I wish I would have done that with her. I want to make sure I do all that with her. And no regrets that I fulfilled her life as much as I possibly could.
Wow, what a powerful story, and what a great once-in-a-lifetime experience that they'll have traveling throughout the country.
Absolutely, just absolutely impressive. They're
Yes.
making every moment count. And
Absolutely.
it's important to remember to do that every day because you never know what tomorrow holds.
Yep, I agree. Well, coming up with the pool closing in Chanute, the Chanute Fire Department hosts a spray day in Katy Park.
And as mentioned, we've got an alert day today as we've got the possibility of dangerous heat, and we're also watching for some strong, maybe severe thunderstorms through the weekend. We'll take another look at that forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In our top story, the Homeless Coalition of Jasper and Newton counties hosted a networking event for anyone struggling with homelessness. Twice a year, the coalition hosts Project Homeless Connection with multiple area vendors and services. Those services included legal aid, employment programs, veteran benefits, and more. Members of the community who are struggling with housing say this networking event connects them to friendly and understanding resources.
Society is not very friendly to people that are less fortunate, and that's probably one of the biggest obstacles that are out here. Thank God for organizations like House Inc. and
The next Project Homeless Connection is happening this January. And the Kansas Department of Agriculture gave residents in southeast Kansas a chance to learn about plans for a new flood insurance rate map. They hosted a meeting at the Erie Public Library where local flood experts could discuss how the new map would impact personal property. An updated map could determine whether someone should get flood insurance and how much it would cost.
More accurate topography, helps create more accurate floodplain maps, because being more accurate within a foot of the ground elevation is a lot more accurate than the older maps that are still effective, that are within like 10 feet or so of the actual elevation. So really we're trying to bring more accurate floodplain mapping.
The new floodplain map will not go into effect until 2025.
And we've got ourselves an alert day today for the potential for dangerous heat. We've got heat advisories this afternoon for the majority of the area and excessive heat warnings, Washington, Nevada, and Craig counties in northeast Oklahoma. Heat index values to 110 in the heat advisory areas and up to 115 possible in those excessive heat warning areas. We also have the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms overnight tonight. Very low tornado risk. We don't have any areas highlighted, but we do have a low to elevated hail and wind risk with the potential for some large hail and damaging winds north of I-44. So as we head into this evening, we could see a couple of pop-up storms roughly along Highway 54, and we're looking in between maybe Chanute, Fort Scott, Nevada to Stockton. And then overnight, that comes our better chance for organized thunderstorm activity. Here we are at 1 a.m. We get this complex in here by 3, and this is where we have that better opportunity for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms as we head overnight. And then as we go into our Sunday morning, so Saturday overnight into early Sunday morning, we have another round of thunderstorms. Some of those could also be strong, possibly severe. And once those clear out, we'll have a few scattered showers through our Sunday and then another potential round of strong to severe thunderstorms Sunday night into early Monday morning. So we do have an elevated risk for severe weather for us on Sunday. So a lot to keep track of out there. We'll have another complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Local and regional businesses are trying to find ways to support the McDonald County residents who will lose their jobs when the Tyson plant closes in Knoll. It's a race to help about 1,500 soon-to-be unemployed workers and their families. Common Cup, a coffee shop located only 5 minutes from the Tyson plant, will offer resume and job application help on Saturdays starting this weekend. They'll have computers and translators available for those who need them, as part of the Tyson workforce doesn't speak English as their first language.
We're just going to be here to help as many people to transition to whatever's next for them as we can. And it's going to be free. We're going to have just black coffee for everyone to drink who's here, and free coffee for anyone who wants to volunteer.
Put it into perspective for people outside of McDonald County, this is about 25% of their workforce within the county. I mean, it's a lot of jobs are being lost.
Access Family Care will also offer support to Tyson's current employees. Their application counselors will help those affected transition to Marketplace insurance or Medicaid if needed. Access Family Care will also provide an income-based discount program to make access to medical, dental, and behavioral health services affordable. You can also find out more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And the world's largest pork processor, Smithfield Foods, is closing a total of 35 hog farms in 3 Missouri communities. The company is closing 13 farms in Newton, 12 in Lucerne, and 10 in Princeton. Another 92 employees will be laid off in October. And what better way to cool down on a hot summer day than with a refreshing shower? Yesterday afternoon, the Chinook Fire Department hosted a spray day at Katy Park. Kids of all ages came out to splash around and have a great time beating the heat.
Well, I found out that this week they were closing the pool down because they had back to school events, and so they were closing the pool down to get everybody ready to go back to school. They'll open it back up for the weekend, but I just kind of wanted to do something for the kids before they go back to school.
Because they love water, and this is kind of an end of the summer thing because all the pools are closed, so this is kind of a last chance for them to get wet and be kids.
Spray Day was a lot of fun for the kids that attended the event. And a nationally touring comedian is on his way to Pittsburgh this weekend. Jay Oder is a public school teacher by day and comedian by night. He's currently on tour with a group of other comedians known as the Bored Teachers. They'll be stopping by the 5th Street Bar and Grill tomorrow night at 7:30, the first time such an event has taken place at this venue.
My 9-year-old, my 7-year-old, so Alicia and Caitlin, shout out to them. I know they're going to be very excited. And my wife, we just celebrated our 12-year wedding anniversary. So yeah, so this is a perfect trip for us to see the country. My daughter wants to see as many states as possible.
Musical guest Seth Horn kicks off the night. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour of the KOAM Morning News. We give you the latest video game news, which is about a voice recasting in the video game Destiny.
Plus, as mentioned, we have that alert day today for dangerous heat, and then we're watching the possibility of those strong, severe thunderstorms this evening. We'll take a look at that forecast a little later, but first, got another live look from Arma in honor of the town's upcoming homecoming festivities. Lance Reddick's iconic voice role in the game Destiny, the Destiny video game series, will soon be voiced by a new performer. Rick Damagella has the story.
We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Lance Reddick's sonorous performance as Commander Zavala has been part of the Destiny video game series since launching in 2014, a game he performed in and played.
It's weird because I play Destiny a lot, but I am not a gamer and that I play a lot of different games. I mean, Destiny is pretty much the only game that I play consistently.
Reddick passed away in January, leaving behind a legacy of memorable lines and a huge question mark for the Destiny community as to the character's future within the franchise.
Those losses have given us insight and common bonds.
Game developer Bungie has announced the role of Commander Zavala will continue in future iterations of the game, voiced by veteran actor Keith David, no stranger to Bungie games, having voiced the Arbiter in the Halo game series.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
In addition to the recasting, Bungie says Reddick's existing in-game lines will remain untouched for its upcoming release.
We will see what each of us is truly made of.
Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Certainly impressive to see how they're able to take care of all of this and be able to advance that video game series while still keeping some of those original voice lines in there. Well, coming up, if you have SNAP benefits, listen up. You can now use them on Instacart. And we've got that alert day today for dangerous heat. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:43. Want to remind you we have heat advisories across the area through 8 o'clock and excessive heat warnings into parts of northeast Oklahoma for heat index values upwards of 110 to 115 degrees. We've also got the possibility for some strong to severe thunderstorms overnight with a low to elevated hail and wind threats. There's some large hail and damaging wind gusts possible. As we head into the evening, there's a slight possibility of a stray pop-up shower or storm across the area, primarily along the Highway 54 corridor and points north. Those could be a little bit on the strong side with some small hail and gusty winds, but it'll be overnight. We'll see a complex of showers and thunderstorms push through the area, and this is where that severe risk comes from, where we could see the large hail and damaging wind gusts. After that, we'll get warm again hot again on our Saturday. Let's just be honest. We're going about mid to upper 90s Saturday, and then as we head into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, another round of showers and thunderstorms across the area, and these could be strong, possibly severe. They'll leave behind some remnant scattered showers and storms. Those will clear out by the afternoon hours. We'll heat up again, low to mid 90s, and then overnight, Sunday into Monday morning, another round of showers and thunderstorms. So we do also have an elevated risk for a good portion of the area for severe weather on our Sunday. Quick look outside. It looks great, but this nice weather is deceiving for what we're expecting today. 73 in Joplin, dew point humidity both up there already. 70 Iola, 71 Fort Scott, 73 Pittsburgh. Warming up though, 75 Miami, 76 Grove, and 73 Neosho and Carthage. We get our morning started. We'll have those mostly clear skies. We're going mid 80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, our highs today mid to upper 90s out there under mostly clear skies. By the late afternoon hours, we'll start to see a few extra clouds, and again, we could see a stray pop-up shower or storm, again, mainly along or north of Highway 54. And then overnight, we're back in the low 70s, and we see those thunderstorm chances increasing. Mid to upper 90s tomorrow, mid 90s on Sunday. We cool back Monday, mid 80s, 90 on Tuesday, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, the heat returns back into the upper 90s, near 100. Let's check your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Caitlin for a check of Consumer Watch.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Instacart is now accepting food stamps in all 50 states. That means customers can now buy groceries online with SNAP benefits. Instacart previously launched a pilot program in Alaska with Safeway stores. It has now expanded to more than 10,000 stores across the country. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Service, more than 42 million people are enrolled in SNAP. And Elon Musk is holding his version of a garage sale. Now that Twitter is X, it's auctioning off remnants of its old brand. Specialty items for sale include a reconstructed barn and a large bird cage welded with a Twitter logo. Two paintings depict Ellen DeGeneres' 2014 Oscar selfie and former President Barack Obama celebrating his re-election. Even mundane office equipment and refrigerators will be on the auction block. The 584 items open at $25 each, and bidding is set for next month in San Francisco. We'll be right back with more news after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Bears need to stay cool in the summer and, of course, clean. So how about kill two birds with one stone?
Jeannie Moose reports on a happy incident and how that turned a cool dip into a bubble bath.
You know the old nursery rhyme?
Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub.
Yeah, well, how about one black bear, a 450-pound black bear, delighting visitors at Zoo Knoxville in Tennessee? How did this 10-year-old named Finn become the bubble bath bear?
It was kind of a happy accident. The keeper staff were cleaning the pond with Dawn.
Dawn dishwashing liquid, the wildlife experts know.
It's tough on grease, yet gentle.
Dawn has been used for decades to clean creatures caught in oil spills. So when keepers finished cleaning the bear pond and the diluted Dawn created a sudsy bath, Finn the bear chose to frolic in it Viewers were smitten, though one British bear conservation group tweeted, "Bet he loves the stinging suds up his nose and in his eyes, not turning a bear into a public freak show." But Zoo Knoxville says its vets clear all products, that there's no problem.
No more than your kids in a bathtub full of bubble bath.
It's the dawn of the Bear Bath Club, with members like Miss Tundra, the grizzly at the Denver Zoo, and minus the suds, this black bear splashing around at the Oregon Zoo. You can almost imagine Finn the bear saying, "Calgon, take me away!"
Indulge yourself in Calgon luxury.
Finn transformed himself from a black bear to a polar bear. Ginny Most, CNN. New York.
Boy, on a day like today, that seems like a pretty good idea.
Absolutely. Probably do need to go for a dip. It's going to be so hot out there.
It certainly is. We've got heat advisories across the area and some excessive heat warnings in northeastern Oklahoma. Heat index values once again up to 110 in the heat advisory zones and up to 115 in the excessive heat warning zones. And those run through 8 o'clock tonight. Then overnight, we have very low tornado risk, but we do have that chance for some large hail and possibly some damaging wind gusts north of I-44 as we go into the overnight hours tonight. So let's take a look down the road. We could see a couple of pop-up storms along the Highway 54 corridor or points north. Those could be strong with some small hail, maybe some gusty winds, but overnight, once again, we'll see this complex of showers and storms. That's where that severe risk comes from. And then as we go overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, we see another round of strong, possibly severe thunderstorms, and we see another round of some strong storms possible Sunday night into early Monday morning across the area. So a lot to keep an eye on. Quick look outside temperatures. 73 in Joplin, mostly clear skies out there, and these temperatures deceiving as we're going to heat up today. 70 Iola, Chanute, 69 Parsons, 75 Miami, 73 Neosho. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities confirm one of the 4 girls injured in a lightning strike at an Oklahoma swimming spot has died. The girls were swimming at Blue Hole Park in Mays County Saturday when lightning struck. The Grand River Dam Authority says 1 girl has now died of her injuries. 3 other girls have been released from the hospitals. Authorities have not released the ages or names. And authorities respond to reports of a stabbing incident in Galena. Authorities say this woman, Miranda Porter, is being held for aggravated battery and interference with a law enforcement officer. It happened this morning around 10:30. Galena police were notified of a male subject with a stab wound in the area of 23rd and Main Street. When they arrived, they located a male with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was taken by EMS to a local hospital, and police found Porter in the home where the stabbing apparently occurred. A Granby, Missouri man is dead from an early morning crash. At about 3 yesterday morning, a vehicle crossed the railroad tracks on Wallaby Road, 3 miles west of Pierce City. The driver lost control and the vehicle traveled off the right side of the road and down an embankment where it overturned. All 4 of the passengers suffered serious injuries. The driver, 21-year-old Trenton Wilson of Granby, died at the scene. And the Homeless Coalition of Jasper and Newton counties hosted a networking event for anyone struggling with homelessness. Twice a year, the coalition hosts Project Homelessness Connection with multiple area vendors and services. Those services included legal aid, employment programs, veteran benefits, and more. Members of the community who are struggling with housing say this networking event connects them to friendly and understanding resources.
All right, alert day today, heat advisories, heat index values 110, mostly clear skies, temps mid to upper 90s. We go into the evening, a stray pop-up storm or 2 possible along or north of Highway 54, and then overnight, low 70s and more thunderstorm chances. Some of those could be strong to severe with large hail and damaging wind gusts. We're going to stay hot into tomorrow, more thunderstorm chances tomorrow and Sunday, and then cooler Monday, Tuesday, and the heat returns Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, Friday is the day to spend quality time with your kids. It's because August 11th is National Sons and Daughters Day.
Celebrating sons and daughters on this day goes back as far as the 1940s in an article from a Missouri newspaper about a child asking why there wasn't a special day to celebrate kids. You could mark this special day with a family visit to the park, enjoying a special dinner, or just by telling your kids and your siblings what they mean to you and what makes them special.
John F. Kennedy once said, quote, "Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future," end quote. That's never been more true, and celebrate by sharing photos of your family gatherings with the hashtag Sons and Daughters Day on social media.
We certainly have lots of gatherings that we do with the kids, and of course summer is almost over for them. They're not looking forward to that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll have a few more things we get to do together before it's time to go back to school.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.